Hi, this is Loral. Welcome back to Loral's Real Money Talks, a podcast that talks about making money, keeping money, investing money with the team, talking about becoming a millionaire. So every conversation has something to do with either business, finance, how it affects you. Today, we have an amazing lineup. We're going to talk to someone who's back in our community after a 10-year, 12, 13-year spree, being gone, becoming a millionaire, having lost a lot of it, was embezzled, huge story, now back and thriving in our community. So we're going to talk to her today, and we are going to talk about our crypto education launch with iFlip. And we got the exact algorithm designer, Kelly Korshak himself. So stay tuned, listen into this broadcast. You're going to love it.
Welcome to Real Money Talks. Real strategies from the moneymakers and the world changers that you can use to make millions, keep those millions, multiply your wealth, and build your team. Here's your host, author of 5 New York Times bestsellers, money expert on Dr. Phil, CNN, CNBC, The Street TV, Fox News, and The View, Loral Langemeier.
All right, welcome. So we are here at we call it our marketplace awareness. It's an Ask Loral, essentially, where we ask questions and we're bringing topics every week. This began actually out of our extraordinary pandemic. So actually, Randy and Kelly, who are with us today, and bringing some really amazing things. So those of you that are watching on all social channels, I know we are headed live on every social channel. And also mark your calendars, July 12th, we will be relaunching our YouTube channel. So you'll be hearing more and more, and that will be a daily broadcast on YouTube. So we are live on all channels. And today we're going to be talking about cryptocurrency. A lot of you've asked for it for a long time. And we went back to the very place that I call, what would you say, our solid financial infrastructure, our wealth account, where people put their money. People are using it, I'm going to say, almost as a bank account while they're making a ton of money with iFlip. So we're going to talk to Randy and Kelly in just a moment about that. Before we get started, though, I have Dale-Ann Springer with us today. And she's been in our community for a long time. So there's a few lessons that I want her to share. She wrote an extraordinary testimonial, re-engaged in the community about 2-3 weeks ago. We really pushed maybe a month ago. And then I really pushed, I know Damon pushed, we said, you have got to come to Boise and come to the big table. So welcome back, Dale.
Oh, thank you very much. Really, the last thing I wanted to do was get on an airplane and fly to Boise, but you know what? It was the best thing I could have ever done. I think the pandemic has just really put us in a different mindset, and it really hampered my ability to see what the next step was. And I knew after doing the 2 fast cash marketplaces with you guys that I needed to really engage fully. And so I got on that plane, and it's the best thing I ever did.
Yeah, so a lot of you, and if you are watching or hear this sometime during the big table, I think, and a lot of you know Randy Tate. So Randy always co-leads, travels around the world with me. So Randy, when do you think we opened it up to a lifetime membership for the big table? Around 2010, 11, I think, when a lot of people are struggling?
Yeah, around 10, 11, people were, just coming out of the 07, 08 debacle and looking for a place. And you just said, hey, you know what? Let's just make this a lifetime membership, not make them pay every year, one-time deal, charge a little more, and we'll just run with it. And it's been really good since, because we do see people come in, get what they need, and they go out and do their life, and then they come back a year or two later. And then sometimes they even come back and they become investors. They bring deals. It's the lifetime deal is good.
Yeah. So Dylan, when did you first join the big table? So give us, was that what year?
I don't even remember. It was so long ago. I was launching my first business, New Reality, and I got a lot of really positive input from the group. And then I went off and created really basically millions, and never looked back. And then, of course, there was the pandemic. I was adding a new section to my program for drug-free health and wellness, and I spent 2 years in a practice setting up all the parameters to be able to do that. And then the pandemic hit, and I was unable to launch the next business and expand it. I was so overwhelmed and devastated. I stewed for such a long time. I couldn't even I couldn't figure out what to do next. And then I remembered all the things that you had done, and your group was reaching out. So I participated, and I got inspired, and I got a little more inspired. And then all of a sudden the light bulb went off. And so at the big table, I have a plan in place now. I'm sure is going to just be the next millionaire.
Yeah.
It was amazing. And your people were so supportive. Oh my gosh. You know, when you're just down and you can't really get yourself going, your crew, it was just amazing. That, I think, was one of the biggest impacts that I felt from the group. The information was fabulous, but the people supporting you, that was priceless.
And you made money. So talk a little bit about your business. Go ahead and give your website. You get the benefit of being out here publicly. So you might as well get some runway out of it. I know you made a bunch of money.
Yes, and thank you for allowing me to do that. My website is luminouslighttherapy.com, and that's drug-free health and wellness, using light therapy as the agent for health and wellness. And so we set up a demonstration location in the lobby, and people came out and sat down and got to listen to our guided meditation and experience using light to help you to meditate and relax. And it was amazing. I realized immediately that there I was sitting with all this inventory for using the blue light to let people relax and enjoy the meditations and benefit more greatly because we get you to theta. But the plan came together for doing Facebook ads. And the best part was, oh my gosh, there were so many people that had topics that they needed to work on where my product and my meditations could support them. Stress-free childbirth, dealing with depression, PTSD. So
well, I'm sorry, we have to interrupt. You have two of them right here. So we're going to put my Millionaire Maker stuff up, and then Randy and Kelly will put our new crypto training. We're going to talk about, and also some just flip. You know, people are freaked out with the markets. So you're just going to do, can you imagine doing stock market stuff under meditation?
Oh
so we're
my
going to
God.
get people healthy with money. Like seriously, people have such weird relationships to money. So exciting.
Oh my gosh, that's even better. So it just, the being in the group and being able to communicate with people that were in the same mindset, and then people that were so superior in their business, and people behind. It was a full range, and really gave you the time to focus and be able to formulate new ideas, see new ideas, and get information. I mean, when your people sit down in a group of 6 and they tell us about what to do next,
yeah,
I was just blown away. I couldn't even believe that it could be right in front of me all these years to do, and the things that I missed doing. So it was great. And here's the other thing that was really fun. All the extra bonuses that you provided when we were there that were not expected or not anticipated, all the stuff with the Infusionsoft, priceless, absolutely priceless. I can't even, there's no way that I could thank you enough for making that a reality for me, because I've paid for that system for 10 years and now I know what to do with it.
Yep. And Randy was one of the executives there. And again, those of you listening, you know, I always say, you know, we've been here and really ready. You actually did make your millionaire run, had all sorts of, you know, issues like a lot did. So here you go around. So, you know, great acknowledgement to starting again. A lot of people are still going to stay stuck from the pandemic and not move. And here you are relaunching. You'll have, you know, whole new marketing strategy team. It's going to be fun to watch you go again. So I just want to say, how much money did you make though? You made what, a couple $1,000 bucks? How much did you make?
I think in the end, I think we did about 1,800 to 2,200. I packed everything up in the suitcases and I haven't unpacked everything yet, but about 1,800 to 2,000. So it was really fun. And that was a very low priced item that we were doing. More than half the people bought at the event.
Yep.
So we had a very low priced item to be able to get everybody interested.
Yep, absolutely. So love you to stay tuned and listen to Randy and Kelly. Go ahead and put your website in the chat. And congratulations to you in making money and relaunching. We're excited that we're a part of your life and watching you become a millionaire again.
Again, absolutely. Thanks so much. I can't thank you enough. It was, I feel like crying. I'm so excited about what we're going to do. Thank you.
You are welcome. Thank you. So Randy, and the community, we have talked about cryptocurrency for a while. So share with us what you have put together at Flip.
Yeah, and most everybody knows Flip, most everybody knows Kelly, but with the urging of Loral and a few others, and the time it takes to build AI, AI has to learn. So that process Kelly's been working on for a while. So we're really excited to announce that we're launching the AI version for crypto on the Flip platform.
Yeah.
It's going to be really exciting. And the other thing we're launching with that software is we're going to have a month-long training class on not just crypto, but digital currencies. What does it mean? What are all these crazy acronyms and letters we hear? And we want people to be able to get an understanding of the basics of the crypto space, that it is volatile, it is risky, it's all over the place. And the reason we took so long to do it and get it out is because everybody that knows Kelly, and he'll talk all about this, Kelly is a risk adverse, risk manage, play as safe as you can and maximize your returns through that methodology. So we're really excited to be rolling it out. The first people that got to see it in the whole planet were at the Boise event. Big events, big things get rolled out. So Dale took the flight, got to see some stuff, as did all the people that were there. People that were there also got to save some money. Those who move first generally get some kind of a discount. And so that's the idea. And it all ties into the state of the markets right now. The markets people are nervous. Every conversation you hear is, when's the crash? When's the crash? When's the crash? Yeah. Well, we don't care because that's why we have our AI. And so that's what we've got now. If you want, I don't know, I'm going to let you drive, Loral, but I'm sure you got a bunch of questions for Kelly because he wasn't there in Boise. So you probably got a ton of questions you want to ask him about the new platform, what it's going to look like, and the class.
Well, before we do that, why don't you, for our viewers, especially for our new viewers that are out there, I'm assuming there's a lot, explain what iFlip does.
iFlip is a AI-driven, in fact, we're the only AI-driven automated stock trader on the market. Our co-founder, Kelly Korshak, and actually all Kelly Korshak, he has developed a system of trading based in mathematics and algorithms. Now we've taken it one step further, and those algorithms are now driven by AI, so that we've, in essence, eliminated the emotion out of trading. It's all done on a simple download. You can do it on your phone, you can do it on your laptop, wherever you really want to do it, you have the ability to do it. And so it's unique in what we do. And so we offer it out to the world in that form. To date, we've been growing pretty rapidly right now. We are, what do we got? We got over 30,000 downloads and somewhere around 14,000 subscribers on our platform now. We won a bunch of awards last year with Benzinga and some other places as one of the fastest growing alternative investment tools that's available to the public. And so we've really focused on the stock market because that's Kelly's forte. And now we've turned our attention onto crypto so that somebody can trade on their phone with literally point and click and not need to know anything about it.
Yep.
That's it. That's the 2-minute nutshell.
Well, and crypto, I know, Kelly, we had talked to you. So Kelly Korshak, welcome to back to our broadcast. You've been on our broadcast. We appreciate your time and your expertise. And we've talked a lot about, just even a year, 2 years ago about getting, are we going to be able to trade Bitcoin? Now you have the Bitcoin Trust. And are we going to do other digital currencies? So talk a little bit about the strategy that brought us here today. And, we're excited that we're going to be teaching you for a month. And I think a lot of you, if you think you know a lot about crypto, you're going to hear it in a very different structure and format because of Kelly's background.
Well, thank you, Laurel. How did we get here today for our platform to offer crypto as well as U.S. equities? So let me address that, everybody. I'll go a little bit back. When I first came into this community through Randy and met Loral, Loral, as everybody knows, offers many kinds of alternative ways for people to create wealth in ways that are essentially off Wall Street. But I'm a Wall Street guy, and I spent my career there. And when I came into this community, I basically only understood really how you make money through a Wall Street career and through investment in the markets. And it's shown me, it's provided me a very good life. One of the alternative asset classes that Loral brought on many other people was towards the crypto product and Bitcoin, which of course has become extremely large over the last 4 or 5 years. Initially, I was a naysayer. I was against crypto. I would not really have any, I couldn't get my arms around it. So when I hear crypto talk, I was always a skeptic. However, over the last 2 years ago, I started to embrace it and research it. And over the last year, I've been mining the data inside of it. And so I don't approach any kind of investment unless I have enough information to provide me a way to create a path going forward to make money. In retrospect, it's easy to look at something and say, if I would have just bought crypto when it was $1 or less. That's really interesting conversation, but it's only going to happen within yourself. And therefore, you really are the person that didn't buy it under $1. Here we are now, crypto is sitting at around 34, 35,000, 36,000. I can't read the screen so well. But I've become a person that now accepts crypto. I've educated myself on it to the best of my knowledge through many different kinds of people. I just came back from a conference in Dubai that was all about crypto and blockchain. And I feel that I've come to a spot where I can at least relay the data and information I've learned over the last 2 years and sift through it and cut to the chase about what this asset class really is and how to prosper in it going forward. So at the end of the day, I got here because I've familiarized myself with this information. And as we offer this crypto class, you will learn everything I have learned. And at the end of it, I would hope that you would appreciate at some level of what I've learned and how to make money from this knowledge.
So
and really,
Kelly,
that's it.
So Kelly, what from that's another time I want to know about the whole Dubai trip and that training. But given what you've seen, and I know people that are out there listening saying, "Oh, well, it's only been 2 years, and I've been in since blah blah blah." Just because people have been in for a while, I wouldn't consider them an expert. I mean, you know how many people have been reaching into just because of my reach in our community to use my platform to teach digital currency, and I just I haven't done it. We did it once several years ago, 3 years ago, and there's so much misinformation. So just speak to the misinformation that's out there. I think it's so broad. Your history, and maybe Randy, you want to help edify Kelly's background on Wall Street. It is beyond impressive. Would you manage over $6 billion at Deutsche Bank? I mean,
5 billion at Deutsche Bank.
Only 5 billion.
Only 5 billion.
Yeah,
Okay.
I was the risk manager for the bank and their prop desk, which is the bank's money. That was part of my career. I've worked around the street, whether it was Morgan Stanley, Salomon Brothers, Citibank, for Deutsche Bank. I was the risk manager there, and in a couple of large, maybe 3 large fund managers, one in London, the other 2 in Connecticut. So anybody that had a career on Wall Street ultimately did the same things I did, if they could. And I had a very fruitful career. I'm pleased with it. And maybe that would, just looking at that, maybe people would understand why I would take such a cautious view of Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies in the beginning. Typically, I take a cautious view of anything that when people get up on a stage or talk about, if I can't understand it, what they're saying, that tells me that they don't understand what they're saying. So always think that way. If it cannot be relayed in a way that you can understand,
Yep.
then the person telling you doesn't understand it either. So Randy will often say, talk to me as if I was 3 years old. Explain to me in the most simple terms of what you're trying to say. And if you think about it, sometimes that's very difficult, but it shouldn't be. And so the problem with crypto is there's a lot of people out there that feel they know the space, but they really don't know the space. They don't know what it really is and why it exists. They just know that it exists. They hear some words, they read a few articles, and then they go out and speak or talk to people about it. And then someone that listens to them that doesn't understand just assumes, oh, I don't understand what they're saying, but it seems like something I should be involved in. Probably the answer is you shouldn't be involved in that. What I'm going to attempt to do coming up, everybody, is try to make it so that we all can understand how to approach cryptocurrencies and investing in them in such a way to make money and minimize risk.
And then, so perfect, Kelly. So add to that conversation now, there's an idea behind expertise, whether it's stock market or crypto, but we have a group of people like you talked about, Loral, you mentioned it as well, that are out there because they've been around a few years, they've traded a few things, they may even made a little bit of money, and they're self-proclaimed experts in the crypto space versus the trading space. Can you explain a little bit, especially with the volatility of crypto, the difference even between just an algorithm and actual AI, and what AI is doing that makes it not only a safer place to play, a must place to play for everybody, because there's a differentiator between algorithms and AI, and I've learned this, and you've taught me like I'm 3, so I get it. But can you give the group here a little taste of that? I mean, I know we can't go into the whole detail and explain the whole entire world to them, but at least get them up to speed on what we're going to teach in that class a little bit of what it is.
Start like this. An algorithm is just a set of mathematical rules that a person like myself would put in or place. And so into a model that says, to a computer that says, if the market, it's a set of conditional statements. If the market goes up 5%, then sell your stock. And if the market goes down 2.5% after you sold it, buy it back. And let's do that every time we see the market. And let's see if that's something that is a plausible strategy. That's what an algorithm is. In other words, it's a design created by a human being. Nothing wrong with that, because there's rules inside of there that are very obvious. How to cut losses, how to get into the market, how to get out of the market with a profit. What AI is instead of a human being building the algorithm, it's a computer. So how does the computer do that? In brief, again, the AI just builds the algorithm for us. Yeah. But the human part of that is we have to simply feed the AI product, the AI platform needs to be fed information, data. What data do we feed it? We feed it, for example, the price of, in the case of Bitcoin, we feed it the price of Bitcoin or Ethereum and Litecoin, all the others. That's one of the data sets we feed it. We feed it also interest rates. what were the current interest rates in the past and what are they today. We feed it, for example, information that we can right now try to glean from things like Twitter or Reddit. Things that we can, so that we can see consensus. We feed it information on, for example, credit card debt. Is there an expansion in credit card debt? Is there an expansion in loans? This information is available on the internet, most of it for free.
Yeah.
But the AI product needs to be fed this kind of information. After that's fed, it actually creates an algorithm. And the algorithm, in our case at Flip, is applied to the product. And all the user does is they choose to use it or not. And if they choose to use it, it will be that computer-built algorithm made by AI that actually trades the cryptocurrency or whatever else for you. AI builds an algorithm.
So Randy, you're on mute. Early in the conversation, Randy, you said, that AI takes time to build. So maybe Kelly, speak a little more to that and what's so different. Because, there's a lot of people who are just trading on Coinbase. And I know that we have, I believe it's an API, right?
Directly to connect. We are connected to Coinbase. We will be connected to several others as well.
Yep.
Yep. So kind of explain how, when we say AI is built over time, I mean, there's also an assumption that these algorithms are going to get smarter and smarter.
That's right. That's right. So one of the reasons why it takes so long to come out with a product like this is we have to collect that data. And we can't just collect a little bit of data. We need enough data so that it's a large enough sample. I can create a large enough sample to compare against the population of data. So Bitcoin has been around now for approximately 10 years or so, but a lot of that data doesn't exist. If you go to most platforms, you'll find that that data doesn't really go, it really starts to become valuable around 2015. And that was just on Bitcoin. Then other ones came along afterwards, like Litecoin or Ethereum. And now we have enough data on that. Generally, I need at least 5 years of data to be able to do anything, because otherwise, this is a statistical thing. This gets difficult, but I just don't have enough to create the correct sample size. So that's why it takes so long to roll out. So we will approach the trading of Bitcoin for those of you that are out there that want to own it yourselves. And we will show you some kind of rules that you could use if you want to do it yourself. And we will also show you what our plan is to offer Bitcoin and other current cryptocurrencies on our platform as well.
And so how are you selecting which coins, which tokens, coins will be traded inside the platform?
Well, first of all, we will use various exchanges to be able to make our trades. So for example, there's 3 large ones out there. 2 of them I think most people have heard of, maybe Coinbase is one, Binance is another. There's another one called Kraken, maybe people haven't heard of. But these are just different exchanges. What is an exchange? Exchange is just a computer that takes people's bids and offers. So all the people that are on a Coinbase platform, if they have an order in to buy Bitcoin, for example, at 31,000, that's on the Bitcoin exchange. Sorry, on the Coinbase exchange. Somebody else on the Binance exchange might put an order in to buy it at 32,000. That's on a different exchange. What we want to do is work with more on a Binance way, where we get to show our customers all the different bids and offers from all the exchanges. So right off the bat, then you can make a better assumption of the price you're going to buy it at. Because if I'm just on Coinbase and I put my order in at 31,000, I might have been able to, if I was on Binance, I might have been able to buy it at 30,000, which is cheaper. So first we have to make sure that we offer a platform that allows our customers to buy it as most efficiently as possible. That's number one. Number two is, and this one is part of the class, is the way to be able to really take advantage of price movement in what we suspect will be price appreciation in the future and minimize the risk simultaneously, is to actually trade what I call the spreads between them, which means we would be trading the difference between one coin and another. By trading that difference, what we're doing is we're cutting down the volatility of the market, which means that it's much easier for our AI to build successful models. Now, that is not the most easy thing for people to do, but this is the best way to approach trading cryptos and building wealth through an investment in crypto in a safer way.
Yeah, that is something that's very fascinating, and I know you're going to spend a lot of time on that in the class, but helping people understand just the very basics of trading the spreads between the coins is mind-boggling for some people. It's like, what? I'm trading what? Where? Can you give like a real simple, like a metaphor of what, you know, trading the spreads between the coins is like?
How about we'll use a metaphor like this. Right now, I sadly sit in the heat of Phoenix, Arizona. Now, the average right now, I think we're getting a break. It's 113 today. But the average temperature in Arizona at this time of year is 99. If I knew those two things, I would think that the better bet would be to think that the price or the temperature in Phoenix should at some point go down and go to its average. Otherwise, we can't have an average. So what we're doing is what we want to trade is the reversion between two things. Maybe in the case I gave you an example of an average temperature and a temperature. The odds are that the temperature being 113 is too high. So what we want to do is sell the temperature that's too high and buy the temperature that's too low. Of course, we cannot do that with temperature, but we can do that with coins. So for example, in coin, it would be something like this. We would buy Bitcoin and sell the GBTC, or we would buy your Ethereum and sell Bitcoin and bet that the change of the spread, the difference between those prices, will move in the direction that makes us money. But I can tell you this, if it doesn't move in the direction that makes us money, we're able to minimize the risk because we're making a more obvious bet. The bet becomes much more predictable by trading the spread versus the individual cryptocurrency.
Excellent. Are we okay to take some questions out of the chat, Laurel?
Oh, absolutely. Before
Okay.
we do, I know because Kelly's got one, John has one. Talk about some of there's not only myths and I'd say just a huge lot of mistakes out there, but there's also just what I call emotional arbitrages, like the Dogecoin, and there's several coins that are out there. What do you say to the people who are just making a run on a few of those that really it's just an idea? Everyone's emotionally, running up the price. There's, I don't know how many, hundreds, if not thousands of those. What do you say to kind of that class of
coins? Okay, yeah, like a Dogecoin,
yeah.
And these new NFTs that are coming out, non-fungible tokens.
And so much interest in that. I know that during the class, there's going to be interest because we do have, as you guys know, several artists in the community who are coming, to us and saying, who's going to help us get this, in place.
Well, I think we could be a big help on that for sure, but I'll speak to a couple of the smaller coins. First of all, in the case of Dogecoin, anything that comes out brand new, I think these are the I think of these things as part of the meme generation of traders. Now the meme, we call it the meme now, right? Which is essentially something that is being followed. So for example, the case of GameStop. Everybody remember that one in the stock market? Or AMC or Hertz. Remember Hertz, the car company during the thing, and all of a sudden it's bankrupt, but it's trading at $9 a share, but it's bankrupt. Why did it trade at $9 a share? Very simple, because the stock was still listed, and the meme generation of people are generally very young traders, people that have money, and they're willing to go in there because they heard something on Twitter or Reddit and go buy it.
Yep.
And they do, and then Wall Street, people that are savvy, and they say, wait a minute, this company is bankrupt. Nobody should be buying this. They should sell it. It's worth nothing.
Yep.
But guess what? If millions of people on Reddit decide to buy a share, we have millions of people, millions of shares being bought. That will cause the price to go up, right? There's demand. Even though the demand makes no sense, there's demand. I feel that's the case of Dogecoin. They are following on Elon Musk, and they're watching his tweets, and they will literally follow him and jump off of a building along with him because he says something. We want to avoid this. There is value in cryptocurrency, but it's don't buy something because it's cheap. Buy something because it's a value.
Yep. Go ahead, Randy.
Yep.
To jump in, there's a couple of questions, smart questions out there.
Yeah, so there are a couple good questions here. So what do you believe is going to happen with the mining and how it's creating challenges within the space of energy and electricity? Is there any solution to that?
Yeah, Ethereum has a solution to that, where their coins don't require mining in the same kind of a way that is very energy specific. So the way I look at this is the mining cost has become expensive for a reason, because when we associate mining, we associate that with Bitcoin because there's only a certain amount of Bitcoin available. In other words, there's some supply. I believe it's around 23 million or 24 million coins in total. And so as we get closer and closer to the number of coins mined, it takes more and more energy to be able to mine the next coin. So that was one of the reasons why Elon Musk again said, oh, I'm not so big on Bitcoin because it's energy inefficient, and he's a green energy person. So he says he doesn't want to be in that. Didn't mean he sold his Bitcoin, by the way. He just says he doesn't want to be in that. And therefore, what happened to the price of Bitcoin? That is the beginning of why we saw Bitcoin get cut in half from around 60,000 a coin to at one time just below 30,000 a coin. So we have to be cautious of that. There's other reasons that are problematic inside of blockchain itself that cause that, to why the energy is so needed to be able to build the next, mine the next coin. Whereas Ethereum has a different kind of ledger system that's not blockchain, and it becomes efficient to still own it. So that's why Ethereum came out with a second kind of a coin that's greater efficiency, that doesn't have the mining costs the same as a Bitcoin. So their mining costs remain cheap even at scale. So there is a reason now, a better reason than there was before, to actually own Ethereum. So that means that nowadays, where a long time ago, the best trade I saw in a spread was to sell Ethereum and buy Bitcoin, there is data now that suggests it's the other way around. In other words, the advance between the spread is going towards Ethereum's way because it is more efficient. So more of that on the class, and it'll be even better defined than I have here.
All right, what are the questions we have out there, Randy?
I thought you said there was another one on there, but I'm scrolling through. I don't see it. Someone wants a replay. What's happening?
Yep, we will for sure get the replay out, and it will be all of our replays are on the Millionaire in Training. And Steve, if you want to put the link of where we find all of our recordings from these broadcasts we've been doing, I know they're on Millionaires in Training. And Steve, if you want to put in the chat, or you can just come live and tell us where else they will be for sure. So let's talk a little bit about the class. So those of you that were in the big table, again, action always gets rewarded. So they got a very special price for this training. We're going to continue to not only, I think, do the training, but keep you updated. For those of you who, I'm going to tell you, like from our perspective, you're not a trader, like you really are active, getting up and, and that's what you do. Like, and there's a few people who I know that's all they do all day. If you're not those people, using the smart portfolios, using the algorithms, that's Kelly's program, is I'm going to say a way safer and more strategic bet. And so, Randy, why don't you share a little bit about, and Kelly, the 4 weeks. We're going to do a 4-week training, and we'll have a link for those of you who just want to buy. We actually, those of you at the big table, you got it for $997. That is over. We moved it up. It's $1297, which is still an extraordinary deal, because I know on the open market, Randy, you're selling it for $2,000.
Well, we're selling the class for $2,000, but you only get the class if you've bought the software, which is also $2,000. So
Right.
it's $4,000 total.
It's for serious players. It's for serious players, not those of you who love jumping in and out of points, Ponzi schemes and stuff like that. I'd say.
Yeah. We're not based in Malta.
Yeah. So for the serious player who really wants to know, who really wants a strategic place that has been, designed and developed with data, with algorithms, this is the place you're going to get that information. So share a little bit about our 4-week class. I believe we're starting it on July 14th.
No. We're not starting the class in July. We're not starting the class until August. We're going to start the class 4 to 5 weeks before we release the software.
Okay.
So we want people to get a month runway of learning before turning them loose with the option to trade manually or to use the software. It's going to be completely up to them. If they want to trade themselves, and there's nothing wrong with that, then they'll be able to buy and sell their own coins right there on the iFlip interface, just like they buy stocks now.
Yep.
Which is going to be pretty cool. But there's going to be, at a high level, I'll talk third grade, then I'll hand it back to Kelly. At the third grade level, we're going to really learn what the basics of cryptocurrency is. What is it? How does it actually work such that we can all understand? And from there, we'll just start deep diving into the NFTs, the viability of crypto. Is there a difference in a Deutsche coin or a altcoin, or what does this coin mean? What does that coin mean? So that we really can walk away understanding the fundamentals of cryptocurrencies. And that is the number one goal, to get the masses up to speed and just kind of get everybody away from all the charlatans that are just trying to make a fast buck out there on the web. Because there's a lot of them. Google cryptocurrency trading education. You'll get all kinds of stuff. I put a slide up last week. I showed one of the top companies that's promoting, or one guy promoting himself as the guru in trading for beginners, and he couldn't even spell the word beginner right. And so, is that the guy you want teaching you to trade cryptos? So that's the high level. Kelly, you want to give them just a little snippet of some of the deep dive stuff they'll walk away understanding?
Yeah, I think, look, at the end of the day, the reason people are in crypto is because they recognize it as a space that's growing, where you have an opportunity to buy something for, put up $1 and maybe make $10 or $20 on it. That's the same thing as investing in a company that is, it's worth $1 million today, but it's worth $20 million tomorrow. So your stock has gone way up. Well, that's the very same thing in the cryptocurrencies. People are interested in it because they feel it is a store of value, and there's a chance that a small investment can go up 2,000%. That's the real reason everybody is interested in it. But what's also a business that's deeply embedded around very young millennial generation people. And because of that, if you just think I sit before everybody on this panel as a guy that is much older than a millennial and looks at what they're building, because these products were built by young people at the end of the day that were disappointed at older people in the way they put things together out of the financial crisis. That's where it started. Remember, it started right after the financial crisis. This type of product was developed essentially as an alternative to the fiat currencies that were available through the US or Eurodollar or a dinar. They just were rebelling against it. So that's the creation of it. But here's the thing, that the snippet I'll give you is this. Let's talk about an NFT. Now, everybody's heard of these things, but what exactly is it? What is a non-fungible token? And by the way, why does it exist? What does it exist for? And the brief explanation is it is the ability to have ownership in a thing, fractional ownership in a thing. For example, you can have an NFT on the laptop that you have now. Bad example. There are people that are trying to do that though. That doesn't work. Where NFTs may have an application, however, is in something unique like art or like a house. So there will be companies one day that establish in this kind of a product around something that makes sense, that we will invest in, and especially on our platform, we will be able to alert people as to what we think is the right way to invest in an NFT. And so what you'll get in the class is going to be this. You'll understand what it is, why it was created, and what is its potential value to you.
That's great.
That's awesome.
Did you
Any
see
other
the
questions
Facebook?
on that, Laura? There's another question I saw in the chat, but I think that's going to be might be a little deeper answer.
Well, I know it's going to be a big active question though, because a lot of people, I mean, including I have, an original Coinbase account that I was played with for a while, is can they move their, basically their portfolio from Coinbase to the iFlip platform?
Yes, if you're on Coinbase, you can move it to the iFlip platform. However, if you're on Binance, you won't be able to do it. You would have to first sell it and then move the cash and then do it that way. However, we're working on a way for anybody on any platform to be able to take their keys, if they actually have keys, and move them over to the Flip platform.
Awesome. Awesome. So what link do they go to? I know, Randy, you guys are going to be continuing to have regular weekly calls. So we can just keep sending people to the call. We're going to have you back again before we launch into the training, which is great. I thought it was going to be July. I love that we have a little bit more time to get more and more people in this conversation. So where do they go? Is there a link you want to put into the chat? But say it out loud, because a lot of people are not watching just on the chat. So say the link out loud for those that are.
It's long. iFlipinvest.com. That's our website. As with everything else, you put a / on it. /crypto-launch-bundle-LL. If you don't put the LL at the end, you won't get the discount.
Yeah. Full price. Yep.
So iFlipinvest.com, the website, /crypto-launch-bundle-LL. It's a long one, sorry.
That's all right. All right. Well, thank you guys. And those of you that are out there, we're looking forward to this. It's going to be a great launch and a place for people to get this conversation and their trading started in the digital currency space. So thank you, Kelly. Thank you, Randy. Look forward to building this with you as we continue to watch iFlip grow and grow. It's exciting. It's an exciting company, an exciting development.
Thank you.
Thanks, Laurel. Appreciate it.
Laurel.
Thank
Thanks,
you.
everybody.
And those of you that are out there, again, we'll be back next Tuesday, 12 noon for our Ask Laurel Market Awareness broadcast. And stay tuned. There will be a lot more coming up and a lot more volatility. We'll be heading into the market as we head into even the fall and watching when the foreclosures start beginning. You will see us taking a big conversation towards back to the real estate market. So take care. Have an amazing week. Talk to you next Tuesday, 12 noon. So you've been listening to Loral's Real Money Talks, a podcast about becoming a millionaire. So we are so excited about this cryptocurrency class. Those of you that have been out watching our podcast, please share this with other people. There's a lot of just really risky education that's out there, and let iFlip be that platform. Let Kelly be that platform. If you have any questions at any time watching our podcast, please go to askloral.com, ask for a question, make a request. Our team is always here and available to you. Talk to you next week.
Thanks for listening to the Real Money Talks podcast. Your host has been Loral Langemeier, author of 5 New York Times bestsellers, money expert on Dr. Phil, CNN, CNBC, The Street TV, Fox News, and The View. Want to learn more about off-Wall Street investing, tax strategies, and multi-million-dollar business strategies? Visit liveoutloud.com/podcast for past episodes, show notes, and resources. For some special wealth-building gifts only for Loral's podcast listeners, visit liveoutloud.com/podcast gifts. Do you have a burning question for Loral? Visit askloral.com to submit your question, and it may just be covered on a podcast episode. So stay tuned and be sure to subscribe to get new episodes every week.